tell you a tongue twister. I want to see if any of you have ever heard this tongue twister before. She sells seashells by the seashore. Yeah, some of you have heard that one before. Now you'll notice that when I say that, there are a lot of words that start with that same either s or sh sound. And it makes it a little tricky to say it really fast, right? She sells seashells by the seashore. There are lots of s and sh. Well, today we're going to learn about another way that poets can make their poems sound interesting. Today we're going to be learning a word called alliteration, and I have it right here on my screen. So today what we're going to do is we're going to identify and use alliteration in a poem. And we'll talk about what alliteration is here in just a second. And we are going to be doing this by using words that start with the same sound as our first names. And we're going to be doing this to make our poems sound interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at an example of alliteration. Now, alliteration is where an author or a poet will use words that all start with the same first sound. Not necessarily letter, but sound, okay? So for example, this one has a lot, and I want to see if you can notice what sound do you hear over and over again in this, okay? Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Whew, that was a little bit of a tongue twister too. Did you hear a lot of the same sound over and over again? And what was that sound? Yeah, it was the sound p. Now remember, alliteration is not the same letter, it's the same sound. Because we know sometimes letters can make a variety of sounds, right? My last name, oh, there's the cat behind me. Hi, Handel. We know that my last name starts with an A, but is followed by an R. And so my last name actually makes the R sound, Arbuckle. So we'll take a look at that in just a second. So again, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? I dare you to try to say it faster than me. I've been practicing. And what we can see is that this tongue twister has p, 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 almost every word starts with the same sound. This is an example of alliteration. Now let's take a look at a song that I found that is going to go over some more examples of alliteration. We're not going to listen to the whole thing. We'll listen up to the bridge, and then we'll take a look at what you're going to be doing in Seesaw today, okay?
A hairy, hungry hog, alliteration. A dizzy, delicate dog.
So you're going to notice that they are saying a phrase, a dizzy, delicate dog, all start with the D sound. Okay, let's take a look at our next one.
Alliteration. A big, bouncy beast. Alliteration.
Big, bouncy feast.
A fun-filling feast.
Full-filling feast.
Alliteration. Whoa. We're using alliteration. A terrifically tidy turtle.
Terrifically tidy turtle.
A horridly high hurdle.
Horridly high hurdle.
A driving, drooling dragon.
Driving, drooling dragon.
A foaming, frothy flagon. Alliteration.
Okay, so you get the idea that alliteration is where you use a repeated sound over and over again, right? Like for our friend Handel, where did he go? He jumped down. So we could say that Handel is a hairy, handsome Handel because it all starts with the h sound. So if we take a look now at our job today is that we are going to be using some alliteration in a poem that we're going to be filling in. So on your Seesaw account, you're going to see that I gave you a little template for a poem. Okay, it says use alliteration to create a poem about a friend. So it says my name is, and you're going to put your name there. My friend is, we eat blank, our favorite animal is A, and we sell blank. Now, you're not just going to randomly fill that in though. I gave you a pre-writing template at the top. Now, this is where you need to come up with items that have the same first sound as your first name, okay? Now, today we're going to use my last name, so I'm going to type in here Arbuckle, okay? Now, remember that I'm not going to use the letter A because my name doesn't say the A or A sound. I have a bossy R, so I have to think of things that make the R sound, like my name Arbuckle, right? So I could think, what places are there? Well, I know there's a restaurant called Arby's. That could be a place, right? I know that I could go to the Arch in St. Louis, the big arch that's there. Some animals, an aardvark. Definitely did not spell that right the first time. We know there's an animal called an aardvark. Some foods. Let's see, we could do a roll. That doesn't really R. That's kind of hard. We'll go back to that one. Items that start with an R sound. We could say a R. Oh, I found a food. Artichoke. Again, I don't think artichoke. There it goes. No, I spelled it correctly. And let's think here. An item. We could say an arbor. It's like a big wooden thing that you can stand under. Now, my name is a little hard because it's that R sound, right? But if, let's say you are doing, let's come up with a friend from our class. Let's think about Brooke, for example. Some places that we could put for Brooke, we could say she could go to a ball. Another place could be a basketball court. An animal could be a bear. A food could be a blueberry or a blackberry. And an item that she could buy at a store could be a belt. And so you're going to come up with as many words in here as you can. So I just did mine really quickly. Then you're going to choose your absolute favorite one from each category. And then you're going to write them into your template at the bottom. So you say, hi, my name is, and I say Arbuckle. My friend is, and then I have to come up with someone who has a name that starts with the same sound as yours. And then we could say, we eat artichokes. Our favorite animal is an aardvark. Can never spell that right the first time. Aardvark. Can never do it. That's okay. That's a word I'll keep practicing. Aardvark. And we sell arbors. And then I would fill in a picture to match. Okay? So when you go back to Seesaw, you're going to come up with as many alliteration words to match the first sound of your name and then create your poem at the bottom. Okay, first grade? Go ahead and have at it. See ya.